The next type of structures we're going to look at are frames and machines. We started off with trusses, and so now we're going to go to frames and machines. And if you remember, trusses were two force members, and frames and machines are not two force members. So if you look at this right column, which numbers are not 2? Well, that's 2, and everything else is not 2. So when you say something is not 2, there could be a lot of different things, and frames and machines are complicated because of this. Here we have a 2-force member, and because it's a 2-force member, remember we said that this force and this force both have to be equal and opposite. Well, in a not 2-force member, you could have several things, anywhere from 3 to 954, or any number of things. And this is what we're going to try and talk about. It's much more complicated. Only one thing can happen in a 2-force member. Several different things can happen in a not 2-force member. If a truss can turn from a 2-force member to a not 2-force member, the rules for trusses were that loads could only happen at the joints. That's why, remember, we had the forces at the ends only, and that's why they could be 2-force members. Well, if you're doing something like standing on the middle of a member of a truss, like this guy right here, he's just standing right on the angle of the truss, that's no longer a 2-force member. That looks more something like this. You've got the guy sitting, you've got this other guy sitting. There could be all kinds of things going on now at these ends. Definitely not a 2-force member. And we further break down not 2-force members into frames or machines. The difference between the two is that frames do not move and machines do move. So frames or machines, if you look carefully at this here, this one cannot move, and this arm is articulated and it can move. Now that you know what frames and machines are, we'll learn how to analyze them later when we get to the part of the chapter or the part of the textbook on internal forces.